Hello, everyone. I'm Annie. What I'm about to share isn't easy, but I believe my story needs to be told. 3 months ago, I was 8 months pregnant, working as a pediatric physical therapist in Boston. I thought I had the perfect life. Now I'm a single mom, and I've learned the hard way that sometimes the people closest to you can be the most dangerous. This is my story of survival, strength, and justice. Let me take you back to where it all began. I absolutely loved my job at Boston Children's Hospital. Helping kids overcome physical challenges was my passion. One of my favorite patients, Tommy, was learning to walk again after an accident. Every session, he faced his challenges with determination and made me laugh. One day, he looked at me with a serious expression and said, "Miss Annie, when I grow up, I want to help kids walk just like you." That moment reaffirmed why I chose this career. You're amazing with children, Annie. Our baby is so lucky to have you as their mother, my husband Mark would say. Mark, a software engineer, and I met through my best friend Jessica at a local charity event. We dated for 3 years before getting married in a beautiful ceremony at the Boston Harbor Hotel. "Welcome to the family, darling," Mark's mother, Barbara, said to me at the wedding. If only I had noticed that her smile didn't reach her eyes. At first, everything seemed perfect. Mark and I bought a cozy house in Cambridge. When we announced my pregnancy, everyone seemed thrilled. Barbara even helped us set up the nursery, though now I realize she was just marking her territory. "Have you thought about names yet?" Jessica asked during a lunch break at work. "We're thinking Sophia for a girl or Nathan for a boy," I replied, rubbing my growing belly. "Barbara won't like that," Mark's sister, Amanda, commented at a family dinner. "Mom always wanted her first grandchild to be named after her." I laughed it off then, but that was the first red flag I ignored. George, my father-in-law, would sit quietly during these conversations, while Kevin, Mark's younger brother, would try to lighten the mood. "Let them name their own child, Mom," Kevin would say, earning a sharp look from Barbara. The day I realized things were changing, I came home early from work to find Barbara in our house, rearranging the nursery without asking. "Oh, Annie, I just thought this layout would be better for the baby," she said. Mark gave me the spare key for emergencies. But that was just the beginning. Her controlling behavior, the subtle manipulation, the way she turned every family gathering into an opportunity to undermine me, it all built up to that dreadful Christmas dinner. If I had known then what I know now, I would have recognized the signs. But sometimes the most important lessons come at the highest cost. It all started to unravel at my 7-month checkup. After finishing a successful day at the hospital, I was surprised to see Barbara show up uninvited to my appointment. "I've raised 3 children. I know what's best," she announced to my doctor, interrupting every question. "Annie's working too much. She needs to quit before the baby comes." "Mrs. Thompson," my doctor said firmly, "Annie's health and the baby's development are excellent. Her work schedule is perfectly safe." That evening, Mark seemed distant. "Mom thinks she should move in with us after the baby comes," he said. "She says first-time mothers need constant guidance." "We've already discussed this, Mark. We want to bond as a new family," I reminded him. The next week, I discovered Barbara had joined my online pregnancy support group under a fake name. She was posting that I was unfit to be a mother because I planned to keep working after giving birth. "Did you see what your mother posted?" I showed Mark the messages. "She's just worried about the baby," he said dismissively. "You're being too sensitive. It's probably the hormones." His words cut deeper than Barbara's actions. Things escalated at my baby shower. Jessica had organized a beautiful celebration at her Beacon Hill home. Barbara and Amanda arrived 3 hours early to Jessica's carefully planned baby shower. Before I could even greet them, Barbara declared, "The theme is all wrong, and these guest favors? So tacky." They took over, rearranging everything without asking. I could see the frustration in Jessica's eyes, but she tried to stay composed for my sake. Later, during the party, Jessica pulled me aside. "Annie, something's not right. I overheard Barbara telling people you're planning to hire a full-time nanny and abandon your baby for work." I felt my blood boil. The next day, I went straight to Barbara's Back Bay apartment. "Why are you spreading lies about me?" I demanded. "I'm protecting my grandchild," she said, her voice calm but icy. "Mark agrees. You're making poor choices." That's when I noticed it. My personal pregnancy journal, the one that had gone missing from our house, was sitting on her coffee table. Before I could react, Amanda walked in, smirking. Mom's just trying to help. Maybe if you were a better wife, she wouldn't have to intervene. I was speechless. The final straw came when I discovered Barbara had canceled my delivery room registration at Massachusetts General Hospital and registered me at a hospital near her home, listing herself as my primary contact. "Mark, your mother canceled my hospital registration." I confronted him that night. "She found a better hospital. The doctors there know our family," he replied, as if it were nothing. "It's an hour away from our house. I want to deliver at Mass General." "Stop fighting Mom on everything," he snapped. "She knows best." Desperate, I called Kevin. "I don't know what to do. Mark's not listening. Barbara's controlling everything." "She's always been controlling," Kevin said, his voice tense. "But this is different. She's obsessed." "Be careful, Annie." Jessica helped me reinstate my Mass General registration and urged me to document everything. "Something feels very wrong," she warned. As Christmas approached, the tension only grew. Barbara insisted on hosting dinner, claiming our tiny Cambridge house wasn't suitable. She'd invited extended family I'd never met, saying they needed to evaluate my parenting potential. When Mark and I arrived early to help with dinner preparations, I overheard Barbara and Amanda in the kitchen. "We need to show everyone what she's really like," Barbara whispered. "By the time this dinner's over, Mark will see he needs to make a choice, his real family or her." I didn't realize then how far they were willing to go. The Christmas dinner from hell began with Barbara playing the perfect hostess. The Thompson family mansion in Brookline was immaculate, the tables set with expensive china. Kevin had set up his new camera to capture memories, a decision that would prove vital. "Annie, you're sitting at the far end," Barbara instructed, separating me from Mark. "Mark needs to sit by his mother, of course." Throughout dinner, Barbara made pointed remarks. "I can't believe some mothers choose work over their children," she announced. I stayed quiet, rubbing my belly soothingly as the baby kicked, sensing my distress. Then Barbara upped her game. "Did you know any plans to put the baby in daycare at 3 months?" she said, her voice dripping with Fox concern. "That's not true," I said, my voice steady but firm. "We've hired a part-time nanny for when I return to work part-time." See how she contradicts everything? Barbara huffed, always fighting family traditions. Mark stared at his plate, saying nothing. I caught Kevin's concerned glance as he adjusted his camera. When I excused myself to use the bathroom, Barbara followed, Amanda trailing behind with her phone out, ready to record. "You're ruining this family," Barbara hissed. "My son deserves better." "I'm done with your games," I said, trying to move past her. Then it happened. Barbara's face twisted with rage. She lunged at me, shoving my stomach with both hands. I stumbled back, hitting a wall. Pain exploded through me, and I doubled over, clutching my belly. "Mom," Kevin shouted, running toward us. She attacked me. Barbara screamed, but Kevin's camera had caught everything. "Mark?" I gasped through the pain. She pushed me. "Mom wouldn't do that," Mark said, his voice uncertain. "You probably just lost your balance." Kevin stepped in. "I'm calling 911. I have it all on video." The next hours were a blur of ambulance lights and hospital rooms. At Mass General, the doctors ran tests while Kevin showed the police his footage. "Your baby is stable," the doctor finally said, "but you're having contractions. We need to monitor you overnight." Jessica arrived with my hospital bag. "You're not going back there," she insisted. "You're staying with me." Later that night, Kevin brought his laptop to my hospital room. "You need to see this," he said. He had years of family videos. In every frame, Barbara's manipulation was evident. Previous girlfriends of Mark's being subtly pushed away, stage accidents, and Amanda's role in creating chaos. "Mark needs to see this," I said, my voice trembling. When Mark finally visited me in the hospital, his first words were, "Mom's really upset. She says the stress made her dizzy. She didn't mean to bump into you." That was the moment I knew the man I married would never be strong enough to stand up to his mother. As I lay there, listening to the rhythmic beat of our baby's heart on the monitor, I made my decision. I would protect my child, even if it meant doing it alone. What I didn't know then was that Kevin had already set something much bigger in motion. 2 weeks after the Christmas dinner incident, my beautiful daughter, Lily, was born at Massachusetts General Hospital. Jessica and Kevin were by my side, offering unwavering support. while Mark lingered in the hallway, still torn between his mother and his child. The next day, I filed for divorce and requested full custody of Lily. The video evidence of Barbara's assault made the legal proceedings swift and decisive, but it was only the beginning of the unraveling. "Annie, there's something you need to know," Kevin said one evening at Jessica's house, where I had been staying. His expression was grim. "I've been looking into Mom's charity foundation. The numbers don't add up." It turned out the prestigious Thompson Family Foundation, which Barbara claimed supported underprivileged children, was a front. For years, she and Amanda had been embezzling donations, using the funds to sustain their lavish lifestyle. Barbara wasn't done with me yet. She tried contacting my hospital administration, claiming I was unfit to work with children. Her plan backfired spectacularly when my colleagues presented years of stellar evaluations and heartfelt patient testimonials. "Mrs. Thompson," my supervisor said in a recorded call, "we have documentation of your prior attempts to undermine other healthcare workers. This stops now." Meanwhile, the investigation into the foundation exposed more than just financial fraud. Amanda had been falsifying corporate records at her investment firm, using the charity to hide illegal transactions. When the SEC got involved, the entire scheme crumbled. Barbara's interference even reached Mark's workplace. In a desperate attempt to prove I was controlling him, she spread rumors about his mental state. Instead, her meddling led to his project being reassigned, effectively ending his career advancement. As their carefully constructed facade collapsed, I focused on healing and building a future for Lily and me. With support from Jessica and an incredible network of friends, I opened my own pediatric therapy center in Cambridge. Our mission: to provide genuine support to children from low-income families, the kind of support Barbara's foundation only pretended to offer. One morning, Kevin sent me a news clip. Barbara and Amanda were facing federal charges for fraud and financial crimes. Their once impenetrable social circle had evaporated as more victims came forward. Daughters-in-law, charity donors, business associates, each with their own story of betrayal. Today, Lily turns 5. We're celebrating at our center's new playground, built with the help of legitimate local charities. She's twirling in a princess dress, proudly showing her friends how to use the adaptive play equipment we designed for children with diverse abilities. As I watch her, I reflect on how far we've come. If you've ever dealt with a toxic family member, what would you have done differently? Would you confront them immediately, involve your spouse, or quietly gather more evidence? Sharing our stories helps others recognize red flags before situations escalate. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe. Together we can build a community of support where we learn to stand up to manipulation and reclaim our strength. Stay strong, and don't forget to turn on notifications for our next video on overcoming toxic relationships.